One. We are live, Smash Mouth Sports. I'm your host, as always, Preston Baylor. We are honored to have Zachary. How do you say your last name? Is it real? I misspelled it and wrote it down.
No,
Neel. I'm sorry. I don't even know how to write my own thing here. I'm spilling water all over the place, going crazy. We got Cam Vieira with you. We appreciate you joining us. He's a writer for the Washington football team Wire. We're trying to come up with a simple name. I've got the Bills Wire, the Patriots Wire, the Bucks Wire, all the wires. You guys are the only one that's a little hard to – it doesn't roll off the tongue because I got to say the Washington football team, formerly of a team I don't want to name and cause anarchy and chaos. So what's a simple way to – is it the Washington Wire?
Washington Football Wire is what it's really called. Washington Wire Works, WFT, that team formerly known as that other name we don't say, whatever you want to call it.
What about the WTFs? I've heard, on Twitter, I had guys reaching out calling the WTFs. Do you like that or do you hate that?
Sorry.
WTFs. Did Zach freeze? Did I freeze? Cam, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you, Preston.
So does that mean Zach froze for a minute?
I think so.
I think he got enraged. No, we'll give him a minute. He might have froze up there. So we'll give him a second. Sometimes it takes a minute. So Cam, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Zach, are you still there with me? I know he froze. He's probably got enraged. Go ahead, Zach. Zach, you still there? I think you froze, buddy. He gets so enraged. So, Cam, what's your question for Zach?
I was going to ask him what he thought of bringing in Ryan Fitzpatrick. Is he at all alarmed by the Niners trading up? Because there was a rumor that the WFT might do that, stuff like that.
You guys hear me now? Just make sure.
Yeah, we got you now. I think you froze. I think it must have just been in a rage.
Yeah,
with
that was
the lack of a mascot. The team name. I got to be honest. I'm trying to keep my composure, but you guys got to pick a team name. Generals, whatever the team name is, the Washington Apple laptops, whatever it is, just pick something. Of course, you want it to be good, but now the name of your team. Or the name of the state, is it still FedEx Field, or did you guys change that?
It is still FedEx Field.
Okay.
It's still FedEx Field.
I mean, call it the Washington Grounds, the Washington Ground and Pound, something.
There's now some rumors that they might keep that name for good now because the fan base has embraced it.
I'm telling you right now, they said they've embraced it because if you say the wrong thing, then you're going to get canceled. So we got to tread that lightly. What is 2 or 3 names you'd like them to go with, like the Generals or the –
I think he froze again. So I'll say, the Generals would be fine. Anything, just as you said, just something. Just something.
We're freezing there a little bit, Zach. We might have to. You might have had a rough. I don't know. You've been partying, hitting the streets. Is that better, Zach? Again, go ahead and ask him a question.
Zach, you got us? What do you think about the Fitzpatrick signing? You got me now. I keep losing internet. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, are you got 3 bars, 4 bars? What does it say in there?
I'm full here. It's never given me problems before, so I'm sorry about that.
That's all good. We're rolling with it. We roll with the punches. Unlike some of these other guys. All right, Zach. So let's go ahead. Forget Ryan Fitzpatrick. We'll get to Fitzpatrick later. Let's get to the team name.
Absolutely. So I think it's funny that you spend a year calling them the Washington football team, and you kind of get tunnel vision because you start getting used to it. It kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit once you get used to it. But then you have people in my life that know that I work for Washington, and they come up to me and say, what are you going to call this team? When are you going to get a team name and stop going by the Washington football team? And then you kind of realize, oh yeah, it's so dumb that that's what their team name is. So I know there's a few options. I mean, Red Wolves, Red Tails, Warriors, Monuments. I don't know that any of them we like too much. I'm personally.
What's wrong with Warriors? I mean, I think Warriors, the Washington Warriors, it rolls off the tongue.
I think that's fine,
and it's natural because it's not a racial component. Because Warriors, the great Warriors. Hey, we're playing the Washington Warriors. To me, I think that makes sense, and people can, still paint their faces or whatever they do with all that, right?
I think one thing fans don't like is that there is already the Golden State Warriors who've had such big success over the past decade. So I don't think I think they kind of want something a little bit more original to themselves. That's why I'm kind of a fan of the Wolves. I think it's good with the
good.
WW.
The Red Wolves would be good. I mean, the Warriors suck again. Does that make you guys feel better if you guys did go there?
I don't know if that means we get the success they had or we're gonna suck then too, but we'll see.
Maybe you guys will be great for 5 years. I don't know how that all works, but
I think a lot of Washington fans would take that.
The Red Wolves, I actually like that because it's a wolf and it's, you get the Red Wolves and it's unique. Like you said, you don't want to copy somebody else. That's true. I think for the next couple of years, you might have to work, the Red, you can, I don't know if you could say Red Warriors or I guess Red Wolves is fine. Yeah, I guess that is interesting. So
and you don't have to restrict yourself by saying it has to be red something. I think a lot of people have thrown out Warriors, like you said. They've thrown out just the Washington Wolves, which I think rolls off the tongue. I think it's fine, but no matter what it is, they're still trying to get everyone's opinion, and they're still very early in this process. So we're going to have to go through another year of being the Washington football team, and then I expect an announcement probably about a year from now is when we'll really find out anything.
Let's do a quick vote. Red Wolves or Red Tails? So Zach, what is your
I say Red Wolves out of those
Red
two.
Wolf. Cam?
Red Wolves.
I like the Red Wolves as well. So it's official. They're now the Red Wolves. Now, I don't care what your guy Snyder says. By the way, we'll get into the team's offseason, but we got to talk about Snyder. We don't have to get too deep into him. What is wrong with Daniel Snyder?
Oh gosh. How much time you got?
Oh man. No, have you sat in a room with him or in a meeting with him? No.
No, okay. Definitely not.
Is he not allowed to talk to writers? Does he ban write? He seems like a guy that would punch a writer in the face.
He's a tyrant.
If you had 10 writers in the room and one writer asked the tough questions, Dan, I don't like the way you're managing the team. He seems like a guy that not only would ban you for shirts like Dolan does, but would punch you in the face and have the team drag you out. Has he gone to that level, or is that too far?
That's a question that I don't really want to know the answer to.
Okay.
I don't know the answer yet. I've never been in a room with him. I don't know how much interaction he has with writers, but none from what I've seen.
Now you write for the Washington football team, The Wire. Do you live in the D.C. area?
I don't. I'm actually across country. As random as that is, I'm over in Oregon right now.
Oregon, wow.
Yeah, as far away from D.C. as you can get about.
So you don't have? Are you credentialed to go to the games, the football games? If it was non,
no, I'm not right now.
No. Okay.
No, I'm not.
So you're working through the process, but now do you guys have weekly calls with the other Wire guys, or not too much? Because I mean
we talk a lot. We bounce ideas off each other a lot, and we're all in connection through Slack and emails and stuff like that. But and we do some video calls, but yeah, that's about it.
Do you get is it division wise, during the division, or is it just all 40 or 50 writers, or how many writers are there?
It's well, we've got a site for all 32 teams and a couple more, and then each site has multiple writers too. So there's a bunch of us.
We need to get this team on, because I'm going to have you lead the charge, because we're getting writers on in a couple weeks, like a week before the draft. We're doing a mock draft, so you're going to represent Washington. Now, I just had it looked up, and of course, with computer going crazy, and I think I got riled up, and I think I dropped my water again, so I'm going to have to contain myself. Where does Washington pick? Do we have that offhand? Why do I feel
Number 19? Number 19.
I don't know why I was thinking. Now, do you have a preference? I know it's hard to predict. Teams outside the top 10, it's really hard to predict, but is there a position that you feel your team needs? Do they need offensive line? Do they need receiver? What is the most important position in your opinion?
So going into this offseason, the positions that Washington really needed were quarterback, wide receiver, and cornerback, left tackle. Those are the big ones. So we got a quarterback. I know we'll talk about Fitzpatrick. We got Curtis Samuel at wide receiver, and we got William Jackson III at cornerback. So they did really well up top, and so now they're kind of in the position where they can focus on some minor needs in the draft. I think they really need to focus on left tackle, linebacker, maybe some free safety, things like that, where you can kind of take a lot of swings at these few positions in the draft and draft multiple guys in that position and hope that one of them sticks.
Now, Zach, you guys got Ryan Fitzpatrick, so it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, I'm excied. I'm very excited.
I mean, with the beard and the hair and the chains, I mean, I will say this. Now, what is your opinion on Fitzpatrick?
I think he's a writer. He's a writer's dream. As someone that covers the team, he is just going to give us absolute gold every week. I just can't wait. He's so entertaining.
I could not have said that better. If I would have Googled for hours and hours, I could not have said that. He is a writer's dream because 1 week he throws 500 yards, Absolutely. 5 TDs, no picks, and you go 3-1, and you're like, wow, we're going to go back to the playoffs. And you think everybody's dialed in, and then he throws for 180, throws 5 picks, 2 interception touchdowns, and you're thinking, guys, we just voted. We're going to the playoffs. I think, what are we doing here? So
exactly.
What's that? So you're really looking forward to that process?
Yeah, we know that going into this season, no matter what happens, we may not be good, but we're going to be entertaining. That's for sure. Like no matter what happens, if he's going to be leading the charge, we know we've got some talent on both offense and defense. It's going to be something that's fun to watch.
Cam, what are your thoughts on that?
No, absolutely. I mean, I think this is going to be an entertaining team, and I got to give you credit, Preston. You told me before the season that this front seven of Washington was ferocious, and it was. Their defense is phenomenal, and I think we saw that in the playoffs. They probably gave the Bucs the hardest test of the playoffs of any teams that they had faced. Now, I have to ask you, now at quarterback, then now last week with the Niners moving up, it feels like quarterbacks are going 1, 2, 3 now. A lot of people felt that, Mac Jones was a good fit for you guys. But, I think we all agree now, Mac Jones isn't going to fall. He's not getting past Carolina at 8. That's the absolute latest he's going to go. So would you move up for him? Are you content with just Fitzpatrick and Heineke? So what would you like to see them do?
So I really don't think Washington's going to move up to get a quarterback. I think if you want to move up to get one, there's that tier of guys that's probably 4 or 5 deep. So I think it's going to cost way too much to move up. And I think what they did with signing Fitzpatrick is they really gave themselves a lot of options and a lot of wiggle room. So because now you can still be competitive with Fitzpatrick. Hopefully he is the Fitz of old and can actually play pretty well. And this also allows them to maybe grab a guy in the 3rd or the 4th round and groom him under Fitzpatrick. And what's really great about this is everyone is kind of being really honest about what this is. I mean, no one's trying to paint this as Ryan's going to be the quarterback of the future in Washington. I mean, everyone kind of knows that he's there for a year, maybe 2, if he's great, and they can kind of let him go out there and play the game while they still work in the background and try and find that guy for the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I was telling this because Cam was like, I think what? I'm not trying to throw you under the bus here, but we got to be honest. You were saying before the season, we were talking about who were going to be the worst teams. You were like Detroit, Cincinnati, of course, the normal favorites, Detroit, Cincinnati. Of course, they're always in the mix for the bottom 5 teams. And then you threw out Washington, and I said, no, Washington's not going to be a bottom 5. I said they have one of the best front sevens in football. With Kerrigan and Payne and all the guys they got over there.
And Dwayne Haskins was going to play every snap. That's what I was factoring in.
Well, I said I don't care if Dwayne Haskins, just kind of hobbles out there or can't figure out which team is his, or doesn't know when the time the autograph session is. It's 2 minutes after the game, not 2 minutes during the game.
Very fair.
And what gentleman's club he likes to go to. I said this front seven for Washington is stacked, with all the guys and the rookie and everything else. I mean, with the rookie and with Kerrigan on the edge, I mean, those guys are going to be unbelievable. So I almost feel like this team, you're right. You shine Curtis Samuel. Fitzpatrick's a veteran. He almost led Miami to the playoffs last year, and he would have had they not put into it, many people feel. So I think this Washington team, in my eyes, you do what you can to help with defense. You help the team. You got Samuel. Their tight end's slipping me right now. Who is the tight end for Washington?
Logan Thomas.
Yeah, I had Logan Thomas last year. Just continue to bulk up with Washington. I say keep loading up their defense and do the best you can on offense and just keep loading up. What do you think about that, Zach?
I agree with that. The defensive line is, if not, top 3 in the NFL, I think is bottom. And so they need to get a little bit better.
Because Tampa Bay's got number 1, and I'm not just saying
fair.
that because I'm here. Tampa Bay, and I'm adding Devin White and David and all the guys in. I feel like you guys need like a traditional linebacker, not a edge rusher like a Kerrigan, like a guy like a Devin White. Or Levante David. If you get one of those kind of guys that can just run for days.
Absolutely. And so that's why in the NFL draft at number 19, I don't know if he's going to fall to us. That'd be wonderful if he did. And I hope I don't butcher the pronunciation of his name, but Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah from Notre Dame. He's projected to go somewhere around 17, 18. We're hoping he slips to 19 because he's a really good, thick middle linebacker who can get back in coverage, and that's exactly what this defense is missing. So that would be great to really boost up the secondary and boost up the defense. And like you said, offensively, they've got the weapons. It really is a lot of how Fitzpatrick is going to play.
Yeah, I agree. That would have been my third guess at spelling. You know, so like some of these guys, you want to be as accurate as you can, but some of these guys, the spelling is not natural. You've almost got to kind of give them a nickname or this and that just to kind of pronounce the name and so forth. So, Cam, what are some of the questions you have for Zach here regarding Washington? By the way, before you ask your question, do you have a strong opinion on the Patriots, either positive or negative? Do you hate them? If you say I hate those damn Patriots, that's totally okay.
Can I say that I hate them, but I respect them?
Yes.
Is that fair?
That is
It's kind of how I felt about the late great Kobe Bryant. I really, as a Portland Blazers fan, I hated him, but I really respected him because he's super good.
I just muted Cam's microphone. So if you say, in fact, if we both said, you know, we hate the Patriots and they're just doing crazy things. Look at Cam; he's getting so angry. We're all unmuted here. Go ahead, Cam. Look, go ahead.
No, it's not anger. I mean, I was gearing up to say something. I mean, look.
Let's hear it. Let's say it. I know you're angry. You're going to tell me about $200 million and the Patriots going to be great again.
Nope.
And Bill Belichick's going to lead them to the promised land, and they're going to go 19-0. Is that what you wanted to say?
With them too, it all depends on who's their quarterback. Is it Cam Newton?
I wanted Fitzpatrick. I don't want Cam Newton back.
I believe that.
Wow.
No, but I want to ask you again on Daniel Snyder. Now, last year, you know, there was a lot of stuff going on, reports behind the scenes from the league that his fellow owners were telling him, like, enough. Like, they're getting ready to give him the Donald Sterling treatment. They're ready to push him out. You didn't hear much from Snyder last year. And he gave Ron Rivera full GM power, which I found very surprising. Mm-hmm. Are you confident now that Snyder was like, I need to stay out of the way? Or do you believe he'll be back in and you'll have another RG3 trade or a Haskins pick or something like that?
The short answer is we'll see. I don't think that.
I don't want to interrupt Zach, and I want to be respectful, but I don't think it's surprising at all. I think Daniel Snyder, that was his nice way of admitting he doesn't know what he's doing, and so he let Ron Snyder, who's a veteran, he's been to the Super Bowl, he's a well-respected guy. I thought it was brilliant.
No, I agree. It was just surprising.
Yeah, the hope is that he saw the success that Washington had last year under Rivera and said, okay, yes, I did the right thing, gave him
definitely
GM
a
powers.
program on the rise.
Absolutely. And so we hope that he kind of takes a step back and does all that. But then you have the story last week that amidst all of these part owners wanting to sell, that Snyder just bought everyone out and now owns 100% of the team. So he's still kind of in that power grab mode, I think, but let's hope that stays away from football.
That was going to be my last question for you, Zach. I saw that. I was reading this because Snyder has just gone through the avalanche. It's almost as if he just goes into the store and just knocks over 15 aisles, and they go, okay, sir, we've got 4 aisles left. You want to just knock over the other 4? I thought, what in the hell is going on here? They said, did he officially buy out the rest of the owners? I saw something like that.
I believe so, yeah. I believe so. I mean, all of the fans, the number one thing they wanted was for Snyder to sell the team, and he just kind of gave them a big middle finger and said, "I'm going to buy 100% of the team, and you're never going to get rid of me." So
I don't even want to say this analogy that I'm about to say, but there's no other way of saying it. It's almost as if he just took down his pants and peed all over the fans. I mean, because he has just done the most debaucherous things. Because first they said like a year ago, the other owners might buy him out. So if you're a Washington fan, you're like, okay, great. They're going to buy him out. They're going to get somebody else there. Anybody, even if somebody just rolls around on the floor and just is spilling milk and beer all over himself, you'll take that guy. And Snyder just does like these assaults that I'm reading, the way he treated everybody.
The cheerleaders, right.
The cheerleaders, the girls, the women, the minority candidate. He's just been terrible at treating people, and then now he buys out the team and he's getting worse. How does that even happen?
I wish I had an answer for you. I don't know. He's a powerful man with a lot of money.
Yeah, he's a billionaire. He's got a lot of money, but like you said, I mean, Cam brought up Donald Sterling. I believe that this guy is getting close to that level of somebody recording conversations with him of things he probably said offline, but it's almost as if this guy is just Teflon. Nothing affects this guy. He's just a billionaire, and he's going to do crazy things. And let me ask you this, because let's get us back on the rails here. We're going off the rails here. I think everybody got riled up with everything. But if with the Dwayne Haskins pick, because I've got some buddies of mine that are big time Washington fans, and he said that like close to half the scouts either quit or threatened to quit a couple years ago when they were drafted him, because the scouts did not want Haskins, but Snyder said, "I don't care. I think he's great." Is
Correct.
that the way you understood it?
From all stories that I've heard as well, not a lot of the scouts agreed that Dwayne Haskins. They liked Haskins, but they didn't like him at number 15. That's an important distinction.
Great.
They thought he was a fine talent, maybe a late first round, second round talent. They didn't want him at number 15. They wanted to go somewhere else. And the big thing is, too, that Jay Gruden, who was the head coach then, knew that he was probably on his last year if he didn't perform. And so, of course, they didn't want this rookie quarterback that didn't look like someone that could start day one in the league. So, but, Dan Snyder, his son went to high school with Haskins at Bullis. And so he said, I want this guy. This is the pick.
Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't think Haskins was that great coming out. He didn't seem like the most mature guy. And he seemed like a guy that might start signing autographs with 4 minutes to go in the game and not be dialed in.
And Case Keenum goes in and takes the final knee. Yeah.
And he seemed like a guy that if your coach has COVID or he's got a compromised system, he might start going to strip clubs with no mask on. I mean, he seems like that kind of guy. Having said all that, with a debaucherous season, were you upset when they cut? I mean, that's a wasted pick. You spent the 15th overall pick on this guy, and you basically just said, we are getting rid of him and cutting our losses. Were you upset as a fan and were you just like upset about that, or you thought, yeah, this is great?
I was not upset at all that they cut him and let him go, because you just got to cut your losses at that point. Do I wish things had gone different? Of course, absolutely. There was a lot of people at number 15 that they could have gotten that would have the organization in such a better spot than Haskins did. But at that point, they just kind of had to realize their mistake and let it go. And so they cut ties with them. And I think ultimately that's the right move.
I sadly, unfortunately agree. Cam is the guy that loves to ride it until the wheels fall off the bus, and then twice, and then the bus runs into the ditch and then goes under the ground. Because he's still telling me that Tua is going to be this great pick. I got to be honest. If I'm Miami, I am cutting my losses twice with Tua. I do not see.
Well, they moved back up to 6 for a reason.
Talent with Tua.
I would have to disagree with you there.
He's small. He's got old man hip injuries. Other than that, he's great.
It's just crazy that we have gotten Zach. Quick to just pull the plug on these first-round quarterbacks.
I'm pulling the plug.
He's coming off a major hip injury. If he sucks again this year, we'll see. Then you can talk to me. But after what did he play? 8 games, 9 games? I don't even know what it was.
That was 8 games too many. We could pull it up here, but that was too many games. So you like Tua. You think there's something there.
I'm not saying that I like or dislike him, but I think to judge him after half of a season where we don't even know how fully healthy he was on a top 5 draft pick, I think it's crazy just to say that, oh, no, he's done. Move on to the next guy.
That's probably the prudent answer, but I'm living in reality. You're probably right.
I don't think you are.
That's probably the prudent answer, but in reality, this Miami team would have gone to the playoffs with Fitzpatrick. I don't think anybody would argue that. And I think the Miami team is upset. Look, the guys that are playing, the hard part about the NFL in the social media age, if you got a guy that, what was he? He was 5-3, and I think Fitzpatrick was 5-3, something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that,
do you really feel confident that the difference with Josh Allen is 6'5", 240 pounds, is big and strong and checks every box and is smart. Tua is small and diminutive. He's dumb as a box of rocks. He did terrible in the Wonderlic. I don't see where the optimism is with Tua. And he's got an old man hip injury. Yes, maybe 5 years from now he could be moderately average. But I just feel he's 4 years away from being 4 years away.
Well, there's arguments on both of your sides. Patience with Josh Allen paid off. But the Cardinals cut ties with Josh Rosen because they had a better option in Kyler Murray.
And
So
Josh
this argument's
Rosen,
on both.
Tua looks like a worse version of Josh Rosen to me. At least Josh Rosen, Zach is getting enraged by this. I think he's part of the Tua fan club too. We didn't say this to get you upset. I'm just simply saying, what do you have with Tua? There is no room for optimism. He's small, he's diminutive, he's beat up, he's injury prone. He doesn't have that all Alabama all-star lineup, and he's got a lot of problems. What are we seeing there?
I'm not on the side of Tua. I'm just on the side of reason. I think that if we had every NFL team just give their first-round quarterbacks half a season to try and prove themselves, or else they're going to move on, we're going to have a train wreck on our hands in a few years where people are just switching quarterbacks every year.
We have a train wreck. We're in train wreck mode. Honestly, I would rather have Dwayne Haskins than Tua.
That's crazy.
From a football
I feel like I should hop off this phone call right now if you actually believe that.
At least I'm not talking about individually. Tua's a nicer guy. I'm talking about at least Dwayne Haskins is 6'3". He's at least a big, strong guy. Tua is 5'11". Okay, you're part of the Tua Pitch the fan club. Tell me why, other than I'm talking about realistically, other than the fact that you spent the 5th overall pick, so obviously you can't just cut him unless he starts giving away COVID or starts running people over or does something insane or go to a strip club and all these things. I'm honestly saying, what do you see in Tua that would give you confidence? If I put him on your team overnight, what would give you more confidence?
So nothing that he did in his rookie season gives me that much confidence in what he can do tomorrow, but his whole college career and everything he did at Alabama, where he was one of the best quarterback prospects we've had come out of college in years, has me saying, all right, at least I know that this guy has something to build off of, and I think he can be eventually good in the NFL. And I'm not saying that he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I'm not going to say he's going to. I mean, you could be very well right that in 5 years he's out of the league, and if so, that's too bad. But to say that after half of the season that he's just already a bust, no, I'm not going to do it.
So, but does it kill you that Justin Herbert was drafted after him, 1 pick? That is what. No. Joe Burrow was drafted a couple picks before, 1st overall. Herbert was drafted after him. Tua, to me, looks like a lifeless fish that got hit and eaten by a shark. I see nothing in Tua. I did not want them to draft Tua. I think Tua looks horrible. Horrible. Wow. And that's being nice. But okay, we'll move on. Last thing, because I don't see it with Tua, but we appreciate you being nice about being with Tua. Let me ask you this. If you could trade, this is the final test. Washington, I would rather have Taylor Heineke. I would rather have Fitzpatrick. I would rather have about 35 other guys. I'd rather have Nick Foles. I'd rather have I don't see any. I'd rather have Mason Rudolph, honestly. Almost. I say almost than Tua. But you've already given the 5th pick for him. Before Deshaun Watson had all his problems, I would have said trade for him. But that's probably the only thing that's saving him. What would you give up for would you give the 19th overall pick tomorrow for Tua?
For Tua?
Team? Yeah. Honestly, say no. I say no, probably, you wouldn't.
I probably would.
You would?
I probably would.
Wow.
If I could still keep Fitzpatrick in the building.
Yeah, and you can keep Fitzpatrick. So you would basically be doing the same exact thing that Miami did, except you're keeping Fitzpatrick.
I'm giving up Tua. Just a single first-round pick, number 19 this year for Tua.
19 for Tua. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's stunning to me. So you I
don't think that he's I wouldn't
see a little bit
Mason
of juice
Rudolph
into
over him. Yes, I thought he was one of the best college quarterbacks we've seen, and I thought he had a major hip injury that maybe he came back from too soon. I don't know. We don't know. I think he can be a good quarterback. I really do.
Wow. I'll tell you, there needs to be more fans like you in the room when they're making deals because you about to look at it. Wow, I think that's good. I think that's good that you still have that. That feel that he could still be salvageable. I'm not a fan of short, diminutive, dumb, old man hip injury guys. That's me. I mean, at least with Josh Allen, he's big and he's strong, and you can at least see there's enough there. I feel like with Tua, you look at him like Baker Mayfield. He needs everything to be perfect. I don't like Baker Mayfield either. What is your let's end it with this. Do you like Baker Mayfield too?
I don't hate Baker Mayfield. I mean, I wouldn't love him as my team's quarterback, but I think that he can be a solid player under the right system.
I look at it like this. Every year, 3 or 4 young guys come through the pike, and when I see Tua, honestly, I'd rather have Trey Lance. I'd rather have all 5 of these guys coming out.
That's fair.
And his teammates said that Mac Jones is better, and Mac Jones is a big guy too, 6'4", 6'5".
What do you expect his teammates to say? Oh no, Tua was the best, the guy that we just won a championship with. Now he's not that great. His teammates, of course, are going to say that they like playing with Mac Jones because they just won a championship with Mac Jones.
Yeah,
it's true.
So you like him? No, I think Tua was more of a benefactor of being part of the Alabama machine and having guys loaded for days. He's injury prone.
If you think that about Tua, you have to think the exact same thing about Mac Jones because they were throwing to basically the same guys.
You don't. The fact that he's 5'11" doesn't. You don't get caught up in that. That doesn't. You're not worried about that.
It doesn't scare me enough to move off him after 8 games. No.
So you would not be planning kind of I'm not saying give up. I'm just saying you would not say, wow, we could go on this for an hour and a half. But
it's a different case if I had the number 1 or the number 2 overall pick. If I had Trevor Lawrence in my door the next year, yeah, I might do what the Cardinals did and move off of Tua. But I don't. And so there's maybe Trevor Lawrence, maybe Fields, maybe Zach Wilson, but no, I really don't think just for any one of those so-called 35 guys that you said you'd rather have over Tua, no, I wouldn't do it.
I'll tell you, we're going to put you on the defense team for Tua when we're putting the fire out. I think that's good. No, I think that's good. I mean, I'm just saying, like, obviously, I get it with Tua. You got to go with him this year. Let's end it with this. We appreciate your time. By the way, Zach, no hate there. I love it. I love that you like Tua. There's got to be somebody. So let's say this. You've got Trevor Lawrence, you've got Zach Wilson, you've got Fields. Those are the consensus top 3s. Maybe Trey Lance and Mac Jones, depending on the day of the week. People are going back and forth with those guys. Who you have a choice straight up. Let's not get involved in draft picks. The big 3 or Tua. What would be your choice going further? I'm
taking the big 3. Obviously.
Okay.
See, you're acting like that's some big win for you. That's a very different question. I mean,
Trevor Lawrence is the next generational quarterback. Of course,
absolutely. And some people say that Zach Wilson is as good as Trevor Lawrence. So yeah, I'm taking them over Tua.
Let's get Cam triggered. Cam hates Zach Wilson. I think he hates guys with feathery blonde hair.
No, I hate 1-year wonders.
So it's a Zach with blonde hair. You know I'm going to like him.
Yeah. He kind of looks like Zach Wilson now that I think about it, Cam. You got to get
I don't hate it.
We'll save that for later, Cam, when you get triggered. Let's end this on a positive note.
Triggered at all.
We'll save this for later. No, Zach, we appreciate you coming on. We'll get into a bare knuckle fight, Conor McGregor and everything else later. No, we appreciate you coming on. Let me just say this. I'm just curious. Let's end this on a positive note. Where would he, on your rankings, where would you put him as far as, like, if I said I could give you Nick Foles or Baker May, like, where would you put him on a serious note? Where would you slot him? Like I said, I know he could be good in a couple of years. Where would you put Tua, like, as far as comfort level, as far as, like, giving up for him? You did say you give up the 19th pick, so we got that.
So, I mean, the problem here is that what I feel you're trying to do is just shoehorn him into where is he right now? Is he the 23rd best quarterback right now, the 32nd best quarterback right now? The thing is, we don't know. We have 8 games of sample size. We don't know. We have not seen enough of this guy. We don't know how fully healthy he was. I'm not saying he's going to be a top 5 quarterback or a bottom 40 quarterback. I just want to see more than 8 games. Talk to me again in a year, and I'll tell you how I feel about Tua.
I think we can agree that he's definitely in the top 75 to 95.
I'll give you that.
Is he better than Jordan Love?
Oh, there's a question.
Oh, let's not even get into that. I hate Jordan Love. think Jordan Love. I think Cam loves Jordan Love. I'm not, because this is a show that goes live on the air. We're not going to say what he wants to do to Jordan Love. We'll say that for another day. But it was something about steam rooms and hot tubs about Jordan Love. But we'll save that for another day. But anyway, Zach, no, we appreciate you coming on. By the way, which teams writers are the top two guys you like or would want to do? Did we ask you about the draft?
You asked
about the draft. We're doing a draft show in a couple weeks.
Yeah, you said a mock draft. Yeah,
we're trying to get one guy from each team. Perfect. So we'll have to get you on. You have to represent Washington. So yeah, thanks again. We appreciate you coming on. We need somebody. There's always got to be somebody that defends a pick till the end. So
I don't feel I'm the only one that's defending him.
You think there's a lot of people that are somewhat good with Tua?
You're the only one I know who thinks Miami should move on.
Oh no.
The only people
I hate Tua. I think he's terrible. I like the guy personally. To me, I think he's worse than Mariota. I would rather have Mariota.
You better not talk down on Mariota. That's my favorite. That's my favorite guy. I'm a big Oregon fan.
I would rather have Mariota. I would rather have Mariota. If you force me to choose Jameis or Tua, that would be
Tua.
Preston, the only people who think Miami should move on are the people who think they should trade for Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson. So that's it.
I wouldn't agree with that either. No, I just think he's got a lot of injury problems and he's small. Like I just feel
they moved back up to number 6 for a reason. So. People before the draft were pumping up Tua, and I'm just like not seeing it. And then our number one guy was good, Burrow. Herbert was good. There's some other guys that have got some potential. Lamar Jackson was raw, but he showed you flashes with his athleticism. And Josh Allen was raw, but he's such a big guy. I'm not seeing it. But no, Zach, we appreciate you. We appreciate you calling in. We would definitely have to do this again. It should be a battle, but we'll save the battle between Cam. You're beaming at the seams over here with you. I just want to ask you,
Jordan Love in the steam room. Go ahead.
Is that a Masters picture behind you, Zach?
It is.
Oh, awesome!
It definitely is. There it is.
Absolutely. Can't wait for next week. Awesome.
Yes, absolutely. Can't wait.
Definitely. Oh, by the way, are you a fan of Oregon college basketball?
Absolutely.
See? Oregon is big, Cam. He's not a,
by the way, school there, so
when did I say Oregon wasn't big?
Settle down, Cam. A few years ago, I loved Marcus Mariota. So it's not a Preston hates Hawaiian quarterbacks. I had to suck for the Duck campaign. I really wanted the Bucks to pick Mariota because I thought he would be good, and I definitely thought he'd be better than Jameis. Jameis terrified me with all his shenanigans that he had going on. Yeah. He has a lot of problems off the field. He forces balls where they don't belong on and off the field. That is Jameis's biggest problem. So, but no, Zach, we appreciate you calling in. Good show. We went way too long, so hope we didn't keep you from everything. So we appreciate it. We'll have you on, and thanks again. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Zach.